Hello and welcome to this fiery sky of the 12 for what will be our level 16 episode of Purple Rain, our Stormsinger Bard life. You can see the electricity crackling ominously around the Tower of the 12 over there. I think we've turned quite a big corner. Level 16, to coin my phrase and the game's phrase, is kind of a big deal for this build. Very much so. We've added some real strength spell-wise. Up to now, our only crowd control was in the form of the very effective but only spell Soundburst. Now we've got the super reliable Greater Shout as well, although it doesn't cause a helpless situation. It is very effective at stopping opponents. So that'll be a really nice addition to our staying alive arsenal. Otherwise, we've acquired at 16 these two massive single target spells, Thunderstroke and Iceberg. The saves are high on those, so big chances to do big damage. The only thing I don't quite have is any crit chance for the cold at the moment, because that's the only cold spell we have and the only cold spell we will have. I haven't seen fit to reorganise the gear to accommodate that. So at the moment we don't have anything catering specifically to cold spell power and crit. Might change that in the future. There is an item from the Salt Marsh, the Anchor Chain, which goes in the next slot, which we could use for cold spell power and crit, which is very easy to turn into an epic level 20 item. So that's a possible. Gear wise, we have had a bit of a change around. I finally dumped the Isle of Dread set apart from the trinket because I couldn't find anything better to put in there. We've got our Canith crafted necklace here, very good for this build. 11 charisma, 8 con, topaz of evocation for 1 more DC. The enchant would be great for a Spellsinger Bard who would deal also with mass hold, but we're not going in that direction with this build. Evocation only. Why are we not wearing our correct belt? That's not good, is it? Yet again, I'm forgetting to swap stuff back. So we can see now when that belt goes on, because it's got quality charisma and quality spell focus mastery, that's jumped us up 2 DCs. So out of Reaper, we've met the target already. We're into the low 50s for the strongest spells. Soundburst is lagging a bit behind as a level 2 spell, but even so, we are looking pretty good there. So let's just show you the rest of the changes. That necklace is very good. I've popped in this ring, seeing as we're not bothered about the Dread set anymore. What else did I put in? I've taken out some other Dread items. Oh yes, the boots, of course. The boots were just a placeholder, basically, just an item from the Dread set to get us the bonus. And honestly, I did miss a lot the damage reduction 15 these things give. We were often chunked down quite badly, especially by archers in the distance, and this would have certainly taken the edge off that. So I have missed it and I'm very glad it's back. Enhancement wise, building slowly back up the Spellsinger tree. So we've got our evocation DC back there, and 1 evocation DC in here, and some more crit chance with healing and sonic spells. Looking forward to that one next. The next point I get will go there, another DC, and the very next one we get will be in here for another DC, or another 2 points rather. So we're going to be looking good. The next that's all going to happen some time across this level, so that's great. Speaking to one of you in the comments, one of you said that you would prioritize all this, and I can understand why. More DCs is never a bad thing. I have a tendency, don't I, with these things to invest big and full into the tree that we're kind of highlighting. But there's nothing wrong with going. In fact, the sages would probably recommend to go all out in the Spellsinger with bits in the Stormy tree. But I like to show to the full extent the tree that we're kind of mainly looking at, which is this one. And the iceberg spell, if I didn't mention before, I think I did, comes from having the 3 ranks in this in the storm tree. But you can totally do without that if you wanted to be a Stormsinger, but go in here for the mass hold, say. You can totally manage with the Thunderstroke on its own is amazing. Iceberg is just that, the icing on the top of the cake. I've added, because we are in robes and we're going to stay in robes by the looks of it until the cap, I've added this nice robe of shadow from the Night Revels event to give us our shield clickable. So now we have 14 minutes shield rather than those little 5-minute belts, which did get a bit painful clicking on all the time. We could at level 17 have gone for the Sonic light armor set from Soul Splitter, but I'm missing a piece for that and I'm not going to farm for it, so that's just a bit of bad luck we're having. So we're going to stick with the esoteric, and I don't see anything bad in that. There's a nice bonus attached to it. 2 charisma and 2 more on DC, so that's 3 DC in all, plus 25 spell power, 10 MRR cap. Nothing too shabby there, is there? What else have I got written down here? Oh yeah, I noticed we're talking about cookies. We seem to do a few cookies each early life now, seeing as I start right down at the basement. And I noticed that the Vela Flame Pillar cookies can actually come from the Arganessen patron reward, basically the one that you get for completing Giant Hold when you go back to the marketplace for your 10 hit points of Draconic Vitality. One of the reward steps from the patron is to offer you a choice of like a collapsed portable hole, flawless Siberius Dragon Shard, Blood of Dragons for exchanging arcane spells at the trainers, or these Vela Dragon Cookies. Now I should add that all the things I've mentioned before that are probably, well, definitely more useful, but if you have no use for any of those others, you might like to pick up some of those cookies and have some fun as we did in the early levels, one-shotting stuff. I took out the ball lightning because I wasn't using it very much, and I'm sure I'll use it even less now the greater shouts come along. And I've replaced it with Sleet Storm because there was one occasion in one of the Archon quests where we got completely overwhelmed, and I just didn't. I would have liked something, you know, like the Druid's Ice Storm or indeed the Sleet Storm to try to help the situation. Now, as a reminder, there is this thing in the Stormsinger tree. You're no longer negatively affected by Sleet Storm. Well, we wouldn't be anyway because we've got the freedom of movement there. But while in any Sleet Storm you gain an additional lightning strike chance. I don't know how useful that would be. Probably not greatly, so I probably still won't take it. But maybe we will experiment with this Sleet Storm. It's on a long casting time, so I've put Quicken on it. Oh yes, more electricity immune troubles in the trials of the Archons. They're just completely immune. So again, I was left with just the sonic stuff. Now, if that had have happened at this level, at least I would have had the iceberg to fall back on. So that would have been good. They scale up to level what, 20, these things? So not bad at all. I think that is all I had to say on the waffle front. So let's go and have a look, see how we get on in the Subversion quest here in the 12. There's a bit of everything here. There's 4 nasty single targets, so that's going to test our newly acquired big single target hitters, as well as our crowd control potential. Now, in fact, I think the only thing that would work on these elemental types we're going to face in here is the greater colour spray. And until we get to level 24 in Epic for Burst of Glacial Wrath, we just don't have anything that will stop an elemental, I don't think. So we could well struggle. I could try the greater shout, but I don't think that's going to do anything for us against these. So I can't be accused of choosing a quest that favours us here. We do have a Dusk Heart, an epic Dusk Heart for 20-minute Death Ward once we get to Epic, so that'll be nice.
After a long march,
I think I'm going to make use of the lightning thing in here.
arrive at the 12's Eretraco says,
In fact, let's hit that as well.
I leave the rest of the facility to your meager skills. Mutters the enslaved slave.
Yes, it's doing alright. I'm trying not to use too many spells to drain the mana. They're all red crowns, aren't they?
Get to work. The pit fiend continues.
That was a nice shot with the horn, but look at the damage. Now we don't have to trigger the next one straight away. We can just make a full heal first.
The slod almost smiles.
There we go. I've put quicken on the heals for when we're in the middle of a combat situation. And why don't I use the iceberg? Yes, look at that. Thunderstroke? You know, wake up, boy. I've just got these new fantastic single target spells and I'm not using them. Dearie me. Oh, what did I do there? Some kind of a little roll. Okay, not terrible then.
A beam of energy erupts from the central pillar.
Yeah, that's me all over that. I spent 2 minutes telling you about these fantastic new single target spells. We get faced by 4 nasty single targets that we can't hold. And what do? Pussyfoot about doing AoE spells against them. That's just about right for me. But yeah, that iceberg took a big chunk, didn't it, out of the fire thing there. No pun intended. Now let's try the old sleet storm here. I chucked everything in there. Oh, still got some. Okay. Now the shrine, shall we use it on the way back? I'm Trying to think where there are shrines in this quest. Actually, we can bypass the fight on the way back, can't we? Let's get it used now. So yeah, between the Core Lightning spell-like ability thing here and the single target things we've got, we should be doing alright against bosses. And look at the save on there, 54. So it's classed as more or less the highest level that we can cast, so that's good. I think it moves along with our level, doesn't it? If I'm not mistaken. I've kept the sonic blast on the bar just as a box breaking device.
Something about these crates seems strange.
Right, now I'm sure, as most of you know, if you DDO out of here at this point, having collected the 2 crests, you can just go back to the start area and avoid a couple of the fights that you would otherwise have had to negotiate. Tell you what, let's move those around because I'm forever tempted to get that wrong. Did we put the freedom of movement? No. I don't know whether Good Hope does anything at all for us as we're using greater heroism, but it would certainly help any accompanying melee or ranged builds, so I'll keep it there in case we do any grouping.
The archway leading into the dangerous
Now I know we've got stuff immediately around that door. Oh crud, it's coming. Okay. That's dedication for you, Mikey. One breakable went for it. Okay. Now that's more like it. Oh, look at that. That was the old thunderstroke. Something took a big piece out of us as well, though. Not good. Okay. Now we're going to have a load of them coming here, aren't we? So when we sound burst first and make them helpless, it is noticeable the nice boost to the follow-up damage that we get. So I really should try and do that more often.
The lever clicks into place, and an instant sound of metal sliding against stone down the main hall.
Making a mess of this, aren't we? Oh, wrong one. I've just changed those keys around. Now I'm paying for it. Okay. And of course that costs a lot more mana. Now if we had any kind of knock spell or anything, we could probably get through there, but as we don't, we're going to have to go back. That was a mess. And did you see that? spell cast, just absolutely nothing happened. That was the horn just wasted. It happens all too often that. I don't think it's just with that particular spell. I think it's just with spells in general on this laggy server. It just, well, I can't believe that was my error. It just nothing happened. I think you have to try to leave a deliberate pause between things. Yes, I was going for the 2 and got him. If you want to be sure of avoiding that that particular pitfall. Can we... oh no. Crikey, look at the spell points are going down because I'm using them very inefficiently. I think that goes without saying. I've literally just changed some of these buttons, and sometimes I'm just pressing any old button to try and get something to bring to bear on the targets in front of me. I'm going to need, as I think most people would, a few quests to get used to the new layout and what everything is doing. What's happening here? Why? Oh, blocked. Why is it? Oh, locked. Oh, there are 3 valves on this side, aren't there, silly boy?
With all the valves open,
I just thought I'd show you the optional in case you haven't seen it.
Springs to life. The
I better have a
wall in the
fire
opposite
shield here.
alcove shifts as the lever locks into place, revealing a doorway beyond. A blast of heat washes out from the cave as you approach.
I never even got to show you the iceberg against them. I was looking forward to that. So there is a shrine back there, but we are at the end, so I think we ought to keep going. Now killing because we could so easily end up on the floor here. Killing the end boss and just taking the DDO out would certainly be a tactic. Let's hope he's not immune to lightning. I don't think he is. Oh my god, he got one shot! Do we try and for the chest here? Maybe we should. I think there's a nice what is it in there? I'll get there eventually. I can't talk and panic and play. It's repeating come on. Repeating crossbow, isn't it? That could be a possible. Why am I picking up souls when the quest is done, you muppet? Repeating crossbow that could be used for our future arty life that I'm not being very successful in collecting bits for, hence it's been shuffled way down the order. But wow, what was it, 4,000 odd on the boss? One shot. That was just beautiful. Just beautiful. I think that was the Thunderstroke rather than the Call Lightning. I'd be amazed if that was doing 4,000 a throw. But nonetheless, mission accomplished. Happy days. Saved best till last. What was I going to say? I'm sure the build would be, yeah, of course it would be totally workable with any race. This is just like icing on top of the cake, this Greater Dragon Mark of Storm. But it's a lot of fun, and it certainly works well. As I mentioned already, there have been quests where I've needed or wanted to run along and kind of semi-ignore the stuff going on around me, and that certainly allows you to do that to some extent. It just sort of picks them off in the background, just like you would on a druid caster. So quite happy with how that's gone. I think you have to invest less in the racial tree to pick that up. Is it 12 points we've put? Yeah. I don't see us putting any more unless we really don't have anything else to spend any points in. In the Dragonborn, for comparison's sake, you could easily, to get to the good stuff, you could easily be looking at closer 20 or even over 20 if you wanted everything, all the spell power and the evocation DCs and all the rest of the stuff. So if you don't have too many racial points, maybe this could be a nice alternative. I think that's it for the waffle for now. We're ending that one on a pretty high note. Thank you very much as always for looking, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Take care.